BKB, right?
Yes.
He knows that he has a little bit more shielding.
You have to hold it here. You have to be patient. You have to play for your opportunity to lock people in with that ult and get the damage out.
Here comes that smoke wraparound. This is a pretty much standard move at this point in time.
Everybody for Tundra in the trees except Snaking, who showed mid, looking for that level 25 talent on the Spear Breaker. He's very close.
Yeah, what's not so in the game entirely.
You have 3 on the side of Tundra. The Breaker can get back there pretty fast. He's going to poke some illusions. A lot of this fight comes down to 33's initiation. You have to find a good core target with this lasso, or you have to bait out that Stone Gaze like you did last time, but I don't think Dyrachyo is going to bite as fast as he did then on the bait.
Especially since he has that BKB, right? He knows that he has a little bit more shielding.
You have to hold it here. You have to be patient. You have to play for your opportunity to lock people in with that ult and get the damage out.
Here comes that smoke wraparound. This is a pretty much standard move at this point in time.
Everybody for Tundra in the trees except Snaking, who showed mid, looking for that level 25 talent on the Spear Breaker. He's very close.
Yeah, what's not so standard about this is how far back they're wrapping around.
The route that Gaming took let them get to the shop, which means Dyrachyo gets to finish Divine. On top of that BKB, the Lincolns are all getting stacked on him.
They're going over the bridge like this. This is so terrifying. It's going to break. AUI 2000, he's right there in the corner. He gets off the Ice Blast, but the BKB and the Divine Rapier start going forward. The Skeeter's already dead. AUI's going to die as well. And Dyrachyo surges forward past him, looking for more, hunting for anything he can. A Scotty hit brings 33 down to his knees, almost dead. One more hit will kill him.
Trying to TP, no vision.
Oh, he gets away.
The Brood had to buy. The Brood can't get to this fight. They're going top to try and go through the gate here. They cannot contest this Roshan. That
Divine
angle.
Rapier purchase pays off. They've just got themselves a second life on the Medusa.
That route of taking the entry into the fight was so damn good by Gaming. It got them everything they wanted, and now you have an Aegis to replace this BKB that did its job. The golden god that is Dyrachyo right now with triple Lincoln Sphere on top of him. There's no answer in that fight. Skeeter just, what did he even die to so fast? He just got caught out on the side off a single Rolling Thunder or something. He just evaporates.
As you said, this is not a tanky Broodmother build. They got to keep their focus. A bit of a shook move there from Celery. He will return the tip, trying to maintain somebody here. Snaking perhaps would be a good target if they can get him with a vacuum, and they got him. A scythe pulled away, a glimpse! Celery, no! Snaking tips him. Celery just saves Snaking's life. A bit of a shook move there from Celery. He will return the tip, trying to maintain morale. They got to keep their focus here. They do have a way to win this game.
Faker can deal a lot of damage in the late game here. He's even going to eat his own Ags. This is about as strong as this hero gets, man. He even has Timeless Relic. It's so much damage coming through on the charges if you can find them. You have to keep in mind there's a lot of Lincoln Spheres limiting who Snaking can charge.
Yeah, when he's playing so far away from his team, if one of those, if he gets its charge broken by a Lincoln's, he can't get to that fight. That could be just as bad as anything else.
Will be an Ags eaten by the Medusa here. On top of that shard, Dyrachyo buying out.
Yeah, very interesting. He continues to buy out. I guess he doesn't have boots of travel. So he's thinking, if I die, I'm not going to be able to buy back and get to that fight to re-pick up my Divine Rapier. I only have one life to work with. And he's going to play for the most of that.
The bold plays continue from perhaps the most aggressive carry in the world right now.
50 minutes in, net worth, kills, mean absolutely nothing in this game. It all comes down to whether or not the Medusa of Gaming Gladiators, Dyrachyo, whether or not he can push through in basically a 1 versus 5 with this whole team putting their energy behind him against the TI-11 winners. A pickoff would do wonders for them when they don't have this Aegis. It would give them a big advantage, and they've caught it. Snaking, slowed down, glimpse back, attempted. BKB goes off, and he's got to charge away. He makes it out.
Remember, that's an Ag Static Storm. So you get caught in this, no BKBs for you. It's a very big deal in this fight when Tundra rely on the spell immunity to be able to take the long engagements. Man, Gaming are just building to stall these fights out. Double Aeon Disc between the Darkseer and the Pango is going to limit a lot of this initiation power. Like, how do you start on them? They've just built up so many defensive items between the triple Lincoln Sphere, double Aeon Disc, a strength blink for Quinn. Very tanky now. There's a cheese still in his pocket here.
45 seconds to go until potential Roshan. Game of Gladiators are already going to set up around the pit. They understand that they need this extra life for Dyrachyo to feel comfortable hitting that high ground. Tundra, meanwhile, have more space to work with. Constantly, Snake King's going to be able to push in the other lanes, which is going to be an annoyance for Game of Gladiators. They're able to take a little bit more map as a result, as they are not playing around the Roshan pit. Look at that. Game of Gladiators actually moved to the other side through the portal.
This is dire side for Tundra. You got to remember, you're in this area. They have buyback potential on the outpost. They're going to push in.
2.5 minutes. Roshan is going to spawn on the dire side.
The fights
Both
are
teams
becoming
don't know it.
very difficult to start for both teams. So if you get to the Roche pit first and you get that setup, you force the other team into you. You're very happy in
Look
that
at Snake King.
situation.
He's trying to force things from them.
Yeah,
He knows they're just sitting around the Roshan pit. He goes for the range barracks.
The thing is, at this point, he's taken so much farm, I don't know if he's scaling anymore. Like, the Spirit Breaker is capped. I don't know if that's ever a thing I've said, but this 4-position Breaker is maxed out, man.
This could be interesting. Aghanim Scepter now done for the Bat Rider, which means he does
eat it.
have a way to be able to grab the Dusa through the Lincolns if there's a hero close by.
Or maybe just anything else off of a support, right?
Yeah, maybe just try and grab 2 of the supports, as you said. Ignore Dyrachyo, go for everybody else. Smoke
All
goes
the
through.
buybacks are up. Everybody has buy except for the Pangolier, who's missing it by 300 gold here, and we're back to Radiant side, so it's once more favoring Game in here as they look for the Roche control. I'm starting to worry about the Brood's damage. Early on in this game, it was significant. At this point, Skeeter has not picked up an item in like 10 minutes. He's just sitting on the same inventory he had. He does have that level 25 BAT talent. That helps. I think he's going to have to play a bit more patient. Wait for the fight to develop off the Breaker, Bat, and Quap, and come in a little later when this Insatiable has worked its way up.
They got the word on the high ground. 33, looking for something, not finding it. Dyrachyo's going to be able to get a jump forward. They're getting the stuns onto 9. 9 trying to blink away. He's able to make it out, but Skeeter wasn't. He's dead for 2 minutes, and so is the Bat Rider. Charge through. Snake King looking to get out, will not be caught on his exit. Gaming Gladiators happy to win that fight, yes, but they will probably not do much with it as they're going to wait for Roshan, which still is not going to spawn for 45 seconds. A fight for something that is going to get delayed significantly, and Snake King will take full advantage of that.
Static Storm caused him huge problems. Skeeter just gets nothing off. I think 9 is lucky to get out of there. I don't even know how he got out of that field. Must have been right on the edge. Snake King ratting with the Breaker is about the best Tundra have gotten in the last few minutes here. They will not use their buybacks, however. And again, 33 just can't lasso anything, man.
He's looking and looking.
Oh, the Pango roll knocked him out.
Yeah, I think it got him out of that kinetic field.
That's
He was
very
able to
fortunate.
get through that area.
33 needs a Lincoln's break or something. Like, he has Halberd, I guess. It's just too many Lincoln Spheres, too many Aeon Discs. You can't get through them all.
Snake King
Doesn't
doesn't
wanna
have
lasso
BKB.
anything.
He's going to be caught here. Glimpsed away to the side. Once again, Snake King's able to get out with an assist from Celery, who is struggling to be able to get the correct positioning on these heroes that are moving around so quickly. The Roshan has now spawned, and Gaming Gladiators will go back to it. This will give the time for Tundra to hold on to their buybacks, as you said.
Aegis for Dyrachyo is going to feel very comfortable. He can replace the BKB, have 2 lives with the Divine, and it's going to be a Refresher Shard for somebody, which, I mean, there's some options here. I think you're giving it to Ace for double Hex, double back wall.
Yeah.
Double Static Storm's not too shabby either, but it'll be a second cheese as well. Quinn's going to pick up the Refresher Shard. I think you definitely want to end it up with it on Ace here. Let's see what they decide to do, as they're looking bottom through the gate and sending everybody through. Time to play aggressive if you're gaming during this Aegis period.
Oh, Ace was so close to being able to hit a Blink Scythe onto 9. Half a second too late. And this is something they're going to have to contend with. Tundra don't want to fight them in a head-on fight. So they're going to be ratting this map out. and they've got great heroes to do it. Gaming Gladiators, are they going to be able to get a high ground push that isn't a trade-off? I'm not sure how they get enough map control to be able to do that. I think they're going to have to trade something at some point.
Or just man up, man. I don't know. It feels like at a certain point you kind of just have to run down a lane with this Dusa and hope it's enough. Right, Tundra, this is an incredibly patient team. Maybe the most patient team in the world right now. They have no problem waiting out Aegis periods, no problem waiting for some 80, 90-minute timing that they fabricated in all of their heads that will somehow work. If you're gaming, the onus is on you to end this game right now with the way the Breaker is controlling the lanes.
He breaks the smoke, getting away with his BKB in use. Gaming Gladiators do have a wave that's approaching the high ground, so they have a way to be able to breach.
And Tundra are not back. They are all out on the map right now, so this will be some free buildings for Dyrachyo.
Nobody's dealing with the waves that are coming in the mid lane. That was Snake King's job, but he got chased away from it. So all of these heroes onto the map aren't going to stop Omega's push from Gaming Gladiators here.
I mean, what is
They
Tundra's
still have a
answer?
tier 2 up at top.
A Spear Breaker is not matching a Divine Medusa here. Yeah, that tier 2 saving a lot of time. Back door is also going to kick in as all the waves were cut. I think you can push through this if you're gaming. It will slow it down a bit.
He gets another range barracks. He's going to get a melee barracks, unless somebody comes back now. Backdoor protection is somehow gone, though many of the creeps are dead right now.
They got a TP out of Tofu to try and save one of their barracks. So they have a 5-on-4 from Tundra if they want it.
Dyrachyo Cookie got here. They're putting all their Lincolns on him, surging him away. 33, couldn't get the catch. Not through all those Lincolns. Snake King charging out.
That Snake will eventually hit him here.
He stops to grab an illusion rune. Decent pickup that he certainly doesn't want to be giving away to the Medusa. He wants to
back
keep
in
this
top.
pressure on the top lane if possible.
This is an absurd amount of pressure a Spear Breaker is creating on your buildings.
And this melee barracks is going to die.
Yeah, he will get it here. I don't think Gaming want to come back. They would just want to trade for the Megas. They are going to push in top wave. Mid is eliminated the back door here. So once again, Tundra, you have to defend this or you're giving up Megas. You cannot trade.
They're
There's
not
no
going to be
trade
able to outdo
available.
this Medusa. So Dyrachyo, this push. Tundra will have to respond. How are they going to respond?
Oh,
One
that
of these
charge.
buildings is almost
That
dead.
charge
The
gets a
in from
vision.
behind with the last 1 and 2. They're going for the Pango right now. They both got pushed up to the high ground. Dyrachyo pops the Stone Gate. Snake King trying to slow down that damage. Gets up his leg because he has a buyback. Meanwhile, Tofu, he's slowed down. So the
Static
supports
Storm
are
gone.
being guarded by Dyrachyo, but Nine.
Stone
He sees
Gate's
an
gone.
entrance on the side with the BKB. He doesn't get anything. Has to blink away. They do manage to finish off Tofu thanks to Snake King, who once again, they are controlling up the Dyrachyo Medusa. They put the disarm on it. They put the cold feet on him. Skeeter skittering away to the
frozen.
side. Oh, he got frozen up. He has to pop his refresher, pop his BKB to stay alive, but how does he get the HP back against the Medusa, who stands in their way? Snake King charges forward once again, but a charge back from Quinn with the Rolling Thunder. Snake King pops the refresher,
double
pops the
lasso.
BKB, a double lasso, controlling up these heroes. Yes, Dyrachyo's losing some of his mana. They're going for ace right now. Snake King's trying to get away, but the kisses are raining in. Snake King trying to get back. The shots aren't enough. They kill the Bat Rider, who has a buyback. The Megas are now going to be in pain. His Dyrachyo starts backing himself away, trying to pull
Harpoon.
back, but they pull him back in. But Dyrachyo doesn't care. He fights him against Skeeter, but maybe he does care. He's losing his
disarm.
life. A disarm comes out, and that's enough. But Ace, he's low. He needs life steal. He's disarmed.
life
He's
steal.
healing up. He's healing up. He's trying to expensive, keeping his life alive. Dyrachyo against Snake King. The Spirit Breaker trying to do everything he can. A charge going out. They don't have their Broodmother. They're lacking in damage. Who's going to put
He's
it out
alive.
for Tundra? Who's going to keep
He's
themselves
dead.
alive? He dies. Snake King's dead. 2 dead with no buyback on the side of Tundra. 33 is going to be next up. He's stuck inside the Static Storm. He can't get out. Oh, no,
Dyrachyo.
Tundra.
He stands tall through it all. A king will fall. And perhaps his throne here, as you have a Queen of Pain and an Ancient Apparition. Nine, you better make some magic happen right
He's
now.
fighting for it. He's fighting just to kill a simple 5 position right now. But it's not enough. A glimpse pulls him back. Dyrachyo will knock him down. Another buyback.
There is not enough damage and there are not enough lives in the tank to deal with this Medusa right now, as Dyrachyo refuses to be eliminated from this tournament, refuses to lose a game 3, and will clinch a game that I thought was impossible to win. This team just will not be eliminated. 3 majors, and here it will not go out quietly, as Tundra did everything in this series to claim a victory, and it was still not enough. This team just won't die.
They will not. The character sometimes can be decided when you fall or when you win, what comes through in the clutch moments. That's who you are. Gaming Gladiators have been a dominant team throughout this year, but they've always done it through the upper bracket, right? They've always been clean 2-0s, 3-0s, not losing any games in their playoffs. This was a test for Gaming Gladiators. This was a test to see whether or not when they get knocked down, whether or not they're gonna get back up. And when they're down in a series, when they're down in game 3, they manage to find a way to stand back up, stand tall, and push through. They will take down the TI-11 winners in Tundra, and they will move on to another lower bracket game.
What a ridiculous series.
Crazy.
Honestly, I think Tundra are shocked. I don't think they can compute how this game is losable from the position they were in. They have 4 cores, they have Aghanim Scepters, they had early Roshans. None of it means anything. On that one wraparound on that Rosh pit where Gaming smoked, they go through the Secret Shop, which allows them to finish the Divine, because you were struggling to get it off the Courier. The item timings and pickups from Dyrachyo were just way too damn clutch in this game. He ends this with 100,000 damage received and 80,000 dealt. No one is even close to either of those numbers here, as he just puts the team on his back in game 1 and game 3 here.
And Gaming Gladiators willingly got up on his back. They gave everything to Dyrachyo. Nobody played for themselves. They all played for him. They believed in him, and that belief pays off in the most important game, perhaps for Rion Masters for him here. They stave off elimination, and they have a chance to go deeper. What a crazy series. What a crazy game 3 from Gaming Gladiators and Tundra, just over the hour marker, but it's decided. Gaming Gladiators will be moving on, and we will say goodbye to Tundra. We'll say hello to Tsunami with Gaming Gladiators on the main stage.
Thank you very much. I'm here with Quinn of Gaming Gladiators, which it seems like you're still reeling from that game, man. Of the series that you've played over your career, how does this rank up in terms of stress levels?
Yeah, it's pretty up there. I went through the whole emotional roller coaster of like, you feel like there's this feeling in your gut when you're about to lose, and I felt that. And then we somehow still won. I don't really know what happened. I'm kind of in shock right now.
Did you feel it during game 1 also? Because it seems like 2 times this series, you guys just pull a magic out of a hat.
I mean, game 1 is a lot more chill just in terms of heroes, and also you're not like it's just game 1, right? It's different when you're about to be eliminated. It's different.
زي ما تشوفون معنا كوين من فريق جيمنج جلاديترز بعد فوز كان غير متوقع ابدا. واول سؤال سالناه اياه، وش كان شعوركم وانتم في الجيم هذا؟ وش ترتيب الجيم هذا من ناحيه الايام اللي كانت مره ستريسفul بالنسبه لكم وكان الضغط فيها عالي؟ قال صراحه هذه يعني من اكثر الايام اللي كنت فيها في ضغط جدا كبير، حتى في شعور دائما يكون كذا ببطنك مجرد ما انك انت تحس انك بتخسر الجيم تحس فيه، وها حسيت فيه في الجيم هذا، وما كنا متوقعين اننا بنفوز، بس بطريقه او باخرى احنا فزنا، ولا ادري انا كيف فزنا اصلا. وايضا سالناه قلنا له وش تتوقع من يعني وش اللي كان ممكن يصير في الجيم الاول، لانه بالجيم الاول بعد ما كنتوا بتفوزون. قال صراحه الجيم الاول كان شوي تشل، اخذنا هيروات يعني ما كنا متوقعين نسوي فيها شيء كويس، بس برضه بطريقه او باخرى قدرنا نفوز.
It has actually been quite a while since you've been near the brink of elimination. You guys finally had your first loss on LAN in ages. What was it like? I know you yourself have told me that having losses is always one of the most painful parts of this competition to you, but you haven't had to do it in a while. So what was it like?
Yeah, I mean it's rough. I mean we've lost a lot of like individual series and lost a lot of games. Like our group stage is pretty rocky. So to be honest, like we're more used to losing at this tournament than I think we have been in any other. I mean it always feels like absolute garbage, and I'm also pretty disappointed in my own play this tournament. So there's that just sort of overshadows everything. That is more what I'm thinking about and less about the loss. Losses and my own disappointment in myself.
سالنا كوين ايضا السؤال الثاني في المقابله، نتكلم عن شعوره وهو اول ما يعني من فتره جدا الجيمنج جلاديترز زي ما احنا عارفين فايزين كل ما يجري
You win so much. How do you even react as a team to losing on a stage like this?
I mean, I think we have team talks after all of our losses, assessing, what went wrong in the game, if people, feel bad about something or the other, in terms of gameplay or, out of gameplay stuff. But we just, you need to keep tabs on the ship, right? If there's holes appearing somewhere, right? Patch things up. Like, that's sort of what a lot of tournaments are, is fixing issues and patching things up as they appear. So we try to stay as up to date on that as possible.
ايضا سالنا اكوين بحكم انه يعني الفريق خسر قدام تيم ليكويد في الابر براكت وكانت النتيجه 2-0 وهذه كانت اول مره زي ما احنا عارفين يكونوا في لان في اللور براكت، بس الان الخساره هذه طيب ممكن انها يعني غيرت نظره التيم البعض وكان عندهم يعني توجه جديد ما قد ناقشوه اول، فوش سويتوا انتم عشان تقدرون يعني تحلون المشكله هذه؟ هل تكلمتوا مع بعض؟ وش صار بالضبط؟ فكان الجواب يتكلم على انه دائما احنا نحاول اننا نصلح المشاكل اول ما تطلع ونحاول اننا نكون نتابع على المشكله هذه على طول، مجرد ما انها تظهر على طول نحاول نصلحها، فدائما احنا نتكلم عن الخسارات وهذا اهم شيء عندنا.
Quinn, I'll let you recover your heart rate a little bit, but thank you to treating all of us to an amazing series of Dota, and any shout-outs that you have to everyone watching now a lower bracket run from Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to the real people behind the scenes who support us. Appreciate it.
كوين كان يشكر كل الناس اللي يدعمون جيمنج جلاديترز وهم اللي يعني هم الشيء الاساسي اللي يخليهم يوصلون للمرحله هذه، فكان يشكرهم ايضا على البطوله.
That wraps up the second series. Let's continue this back to the studio.
خلونا على طول نرجع زي المشاهدين الى الاستديو ونتكلم عن هذا الجيم اللي كان ابدا غير متوقع.
Thank you very much to Tsunami, Quinn, and Fancy on stage there, of course. This was a fantastic third game to this best-of-3 series. Gaming Gladiators, in the end, does come out victorious, but boy, was this a close one. And we're going to do our best breaking it all down. There's a lot to talk about. I'm joined by Purge, Lacoste, and Fear. And Purge, where do you want to start with this one? Because you want to start in the laning stage, you want to start with those fights, you want to start with the rapier?
I think it's important to talk about draft stuff a little bit. I mean,
okay.
we were expecting a carry in the last phase. They just shifted Brood to carry, and it was kind of perfect, really, because it just gave them so much aggression. They basically got an ideal carry where their opponents got a less than ideal carry. That wasn't exactly the case in the late game, in the ultra late game, but look at this, 25k gold ahead at 38 minutes, I believe. They played so good. It really felt like Tundra was going to win this one.
Man, it has to feel bad for Tundra. Like having 2 games in the bag. In the first one, they had 20k gold lead. In this one, 25. I said that I'm having the same feeling when BB team played against 9 Pandas. Same thing happened, exactly the same thing. So, has to be a rough one, but something that Quinn pointed out is like he's disappointed himself, but this is a team game after all, and sometimes it matters that someone else is going to pick it up and be the true carry of the team. That was Dyrachyo throughout this whole series pretty much. First his Morphling performance when the game felt pretty over, and now in this one getting the Divine Rapier and team playing for himself, for him particularly, because triple Lincoln Sphere, you have double Lotus that they're going to throw on top of him, plus everything they have with Solar Crest, Force Staff, try to amplify damage that he's going to do because they believe in him. After all, it is a team game.
Yeah, later on in the game, I mean, during those high ground sieges from Gaming Gladiators, Tundra just like, no, we're not gonna attack the Retro at all. We can't kill him anyway. We're gonna try to kill everybody else, and that was, I mean, by that time, Fear kind of already was too late.
It was indeed, and I think Gaming Gladiators here like proved something pretty important here, because I watched a lot of Dyrachyo's games in the past, and they would kind of win without him. I will put it that way. Like a lot of games where they could prove where he could just do whatever he wants, he'll show up whenever, but now they're in a situation where they're not doing well, and he has to be the one to like take the game by himself. So they have 2 styles now, which is very scary. If Dyrachyo is that type of carry where you can rely on him in these ultra late games, he will carry you if all 4 players are having a bad game. But then again, if they're having a good game, Dyrachyo can sit back as well and have a nice game. That's a very scary team to play into.
Yeah, you need to have that balance, you need to have that trust, and if maybe Quinn said he's critical of his own gameplay in this tournament so far, he needs to have that trust that his team's there to back him up, Lacoste, and that's just what happens.
They were there for, like they just itemized for him, they played around him, understood like who the true carry of the game is, and we mentioned, you know, if this game goes late, that Tundra, they're gonna have a lot of issues because it was something unusual when it comes down to like itemization as well, because they tried to drag the drag Medusa into Broodmother, Cold Feet, plus Diffusal Blade pickup, Refresher to have like another BKB, another Insatiable Hunger on Broodmother to deal as much damage as possible, but in the end it didn't work out. I think we got to give credit for Tundra because this probably has to be the best series from my point of view, and that 9 Pandas against BB, that was also up there.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to mechanics stuff. The obvious one is that you do so little raw damage to Medusa, you can't lifesteal. So even though Brood did a lot of damage, he couldn't actually just fight Dusa to the death. It wasn't really going to be a winning equation. Caster's pointed out many times he didn't have that much armor. I don't know if that would have solved it either. And if you look at Tundra's lineup, they didn't even have a traditional aura buyer. It was offlane bat, so they didn't have like extra armor from a Greaves. They didn't have like a Vlad's with lifesteal. There were just some basic things that really add up in some of those crucial moments. So that's why that Rapier timing was so impactful and why Brood was just getting like 3-shot in some of those fights. And that was what changed the game. Once he had Rapier and Brood can't even get close to fighting Dusa, they just couldn't beat her anymore. So that one fight in the base that they lost, if it went the other way, the game's over. Tundra wins.
The $200,000 Rapier, kind of, in the hands of the Retro right there. We have, of course, also got an STC play to analyze, and there were a couple great comeback fights coming out from Gaming Gladiators, but this is the one that really, truly started it all. As we saw earlier, Tundra here was ahead by 25K, and it looked like this was going to be the deciding fight where Tundra was going to take GG out.
Yeah, this is the one where like Dyrachyo started to make the comeback. Like all the other fights, they focused Medusa, but if you watch in this fight, they go for other heroes. They buy back. Dyrachyo, he's not getting focused. The damage is slowly coming out. He does have items at this point, and you'll see about this point when this halberd runs off, Dyrachyo can right-click now. They're grouping up. The split shot is going off here. These two heroes, they're like, oh, we're just dying now. We haven't dealt with Dyrachyo yet. And now all of a sudden, you got a 4-man wipe in the enemy base there, and Dyrachyo, this is like, you know, the catalyst for him to start becoming this monstrous carry that he became.
If they lose this fight, they probably lose the game, but this has been like Eastern European Classic for a very long time, having Disruptor plus a Vacuum, especially once Disruptor gets the Ags. Like this combo is just game-winning. Maybe throw in Nagasari on top of that, but the execution in the base, it was there. When they needed, it was there.
It was 100% there. I don't think it comes as a surprise to anyone that the Gadea MVP is Dyrachyo. Of course he is. It's a series MVP, so it wasn't just his Medusa performance. And, you know, you do get lucky with 3 crits in a row taking out Skeeter, by the way. That is crazy good. Obviously, a little bit luck involved then, but his Medusa was top tier. His Morphling earlier didn't die for the longest time, and Gaming Gladiators could really rely on him to carry them through what was also a very difficult game. Game 2 fell a little bit short, but the Drow Ranger was a gamble in that game. At the end of the series, though, he is the one that made sure that this team lives to see another day. By the way, do you remember me saying $200,000 Rapier? Well, it might actually be a little bit more than that, because we have to, some people might have missed this, but there's a club awards going on at the same time over Gamers 8, which counts all top 8 finishes per organization. Gaming Gladiators doing very well. Gaming Gladiators just got another guaranteed top 8, and the winner of that competition, as in the organization, in this case Gaming Gladiators, stands a chance to win $5 million on top of anything else they win.
It was $5 million for first place.
$5 million for first place. Gaming Gladiators has got another top 8. That's a lot of money.
I thought it was 1.5. Are you sure?
I am now starting to doubt myself.
It was a lot of money. Like,
I'm gonna Google it, guys.
The org is gonna be happy no matter what. They're like, hey, extra money.
I'm gonna Google it. Talk about Dyrachyo, because he was definitely the man of the match.
That'll fund like 2 teams for at least like a year in terms of salary. That's pretty sick. That's a big prize money, prize pool there. But yeah, they had to win like 2. They had to place top 8 in like 2 tournaments, and then within those, if they get first in Dota, they get 50 points. They're currently in the lead at about 50 points. So yeah, if they can go far here and get a bunch of points, yeah, I'm sure their CEOs will be very happy about that one.
And Quinn talked about how he feels pretty bad about this tournament, his performance. I think Dyrachyo's the polar opposite on this one. I bet he's riding a high right now, carrying his team through his, you know, a rough patch, and they can just like rely on him. He's like, wow, I just carried 2 games that we probably should have lost. So he deserved the MVP. He played really well, and he's probably feeling really well as well.
I think it's $5 million total prize pool, 1.5 first place, if I remember correctly.
Either way,
you're right,
a lot
you're
of
right,
money.
You're right. It's
still a lot
of money on the line.
That's you know, there's not really other
So
tournaments.
I
where
got a
the
little bit. I
floor
got a
just
little
big
bit
money, but-
enthusiastic, a little bit ahead of myself. It happens sometimes. It's okay. It's still a lot of money, by the way. So yeah, Gaming Gladiators doing very well here. Very good to see them do well in the lower bracket as well, as we haven't seen them there yet before. But we also got to give some extra light to Tundra, who with this loss exits Re-Up Masters. And for that, we also head to Tsunami, who's standing by with Netta.
Thank you very much. I'm standing by with Netta 33. That was an incredibly intense series and a very difficult one to watch from your perspective. I have to imagine that in game number 3, when the game was kind of slipping out of your guys' hands, what was going through your guys' head?
I mean, honestly, we thought we could still win, but we just realized that it's not going to be as easy as it could have been, and it's just very soul-crushing. Like when you realize that like the game was over and now it's not, and now you have to work for it again, and it's very hard, and we were not able to recover from that. And then we played poorly for like the later part of the game. I think it was everyone was, I guess, a bit upset that things kind of slipped away.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a very, very painful experience.
I can imagine, but surely this is something that your team is no stranger to. A year ago, come Arlington, Tundra was not in great shape, but you turned it around, making your journey way to the International. How can you feel any difference between how your team has evolved in the past year and moving forward into the next International?
I mean, we are doing a lot better job dealing with bad things that are happening to us, I guess. Even this tournament, we had some really rough moments. But we were able to like really keep improving every day. Like it was a very hard tournament for us because we came into the tournament on very good form. We had very high expectations, but then we ended up having to play with stand-in, and everyone was already feeling very sad. But I'm really happy at how we managed to come back from that. And every day, even though our group stage results were not really showing it, I felt that every game we are playing better and better. And then today we are playing against like the best team of the year, and in my opinion, should have won all 3 games. So I'm really happy at how we managed to improve, but it's just very, very disappointed that didn't work out.
Of course, but it is encouraging to hear that this is the trajectory for Tundra. And on your behalf, I'd just like to extend appreciation for anyone who has given kind words to Saksazwe. Obviously, this is not an ideal situation for your team, but you've been very understanding and being able to make the best out of an unfortunate situation. So 33, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me, and best of luck moving forward in the competitive season.
An unfortunate loss here for Tundra as they take their leave from Re-Up Masters. They will end top 12, 9th to 12th here, and it will be the end of the road. However, for Gaming Gladiators, they move on and they continue meeting their Western European brethren, and it looks like they potentially could be turning into quite the Grim Reaper here, but maybe it will be Quest's job to be just that, as they will face each other in the lower bracket round number 2. But as you can see, we've got some other matches in the lower bracket on the bottom half there that still need to happen. Now, only one of those will happen today. The other one, will it be EG's chance to shine? We're finding out. This could be potentially a moment for them that could be defining for their journey forward, would you say?
You mean for Thailand?
Yeah, for Quest as well. For Quest, losing a game here, that's high pressure.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's upper bracket. It's